Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Hut's Gaming F1 League on the F1 2021 video game. We're doing the Netherlands once again after the kerfuffle from last week. Unfortunately, the F1 game has been having a few issues, mainly desync. As we saw last week, it looked like everyone was all over the place. Really, they weren't. But apparently, things seem to be doing better. They've been running a practice lobby since 10 to 6. And there were no issues then. So, with any luck, everything should be fine. I'm just going to briefly check if I've turned the microphone on. No, yeah, it sounds fine. Yep, there we go. And I just made sure to turn my phone on to vibrate only. Which I'll inevitably forget to turn off later, but that happens. So, we have 19 drivers today. I think that's a few more than we had last week. It was going to be 20, but someone has unfortunately been unable to make it in time, and, well, everyone's still a bit cautious, so they won't be 20 drivers today. So, we've got a couple of drivers looking to qualify the mediums. That will be Sherlock Sona, 71, and Shiv, and I think that's a Williams. And of course the race is going to be dry again, so there we go. Lots of people coming out, so we've got ARX Biscuit in the first AlphaTauri. First man who will be potentially to set the benchmark today. We've got his teammate, oh my god, how do you pronounce that? J05GR? I'm gonna call him Dave. Pull the mighty jingles and just call him Dave. He's coming through turn 8 right now. Just a couple of corners behind his teammate. Behind that is both of the Mercedes. We've got Big Six who's just come through turn 8 into turn 9 right now. And Goshan, or Goshan? Goshan? I'll be taken to school eventually, won't I? Anyway, we shall go back to Biscuit as he starts his flying run right about now. And he's on the soft tyres. We've got just 3 people who are going to try their luck on the mediums. Though only one of them is out on track at the minute. That's going to be Sherlock Sona. Through turn 3. Nicely does it for the Alpine. Hide the UI a bit. Through the sort of twisty bits. Sector 1 completed in 24.7 seconds. Then we've got the infamous area where Nicholas Latifi crashed his Williams. Going to show that he is not that far off a certain maze pin. And I know I mispronounced that. I did it on purpose. Going down towards Sector 2, completes that after 49.491 seconds. Oh, and Groffwall gets a 5-place grid penalty for a collision, so that's not going to be nice. Nice for Groffwall there. So he needs to try and finish high up in the qualifying to try and limit the damage as ARX Biscuit completes his first flying lap at the benchmark in 111.046. His teammate Dave goes 1.2 seconds slower. Oh, and we've got a crash by the Lagand. And he seems to have lost control on the exit of turn 7. So he will be starting dead last. His teammate Eddie 1 went past. We've got a few more times on the board now. Sherlock Sona, 111.9. Big Six, 111.897. Mars Monster, 111.7. A-Lord has gone 112.015. About 2.5 tenths faster than Dave in the AlphaTauri. Hutt's Big Vic is currently... Oh, I was about to say he was slowest so far, but that honour now goes to Jabba the Black, who then immediately gets beaten by Quack. However, I believe this lap he's just done was a... Oh, I think Jabba has just spun at turn 3. Pulled to Carlos Sainz. But doesn't look like there's any decent going on. It's just waiting for people to go by, as one of those people is not Dave, it's going to be Biscuits, wasn't it? Currently, it's Goshan, fastest man on track, 110.988. Wondering if that's maybe 6 tenths faster than Biscuit. I think there's a way to see that. No, not 6 tenths, 6 hundredths almost. 5.056 of a second. And then it's half a second back to Big Liam in the Alfa Romeo. I'm trying to remember who it was last week we were watching. I think Isti 104 was one of the guys. But I don't remember Big Liam. Then again, I haven't watched that stream. No, not much point. There's nothing really happened. Just qualifying. Opens the DRS. He's actually run out of battery here. It goes across the line. Third fastest, but still 3.5 tenths adrift of Goshan. Speaking of a Mercedes, Big Six. Nope, he's coming into the pits. Mars Monster, is he going to pit? No, he is going down the straight. What's he going to do? Improves by 3.5 tenths, but still 3.38 behind the leader. We've got a Haas coming into the pits. We've got Shiv, who's on an outlap. He's invalidated, possibly had damage, and he is on the medium tyres. Maybe he's decided that the mediums aren't the tyre to go for. However, KSK is still going to try his luck on them. Should be noted that one driver has set their lap time on the medium tyres, and that's RGB Eddie 1 in the one remaining Red Bull. Fitting name. Eddie 1 Red Bull. Rider Nini was having all sorts of problems in last week, but he appears to be completely, well, running on a completely intact internet connection today. Using a fitting helmet that's meant to be for Daniel Ricciardo, but it's well, the blue and yellow looks more like a wheat field in the sky, don't you think? Was not really pushing on that flying lap. It wasn't really much of a flying lap. He does come across the line, 2.3 seconds adrift of the leader, but he will be going for another attempt. I think this one will be a lot more serious. To the that's not good. That was a turn 2, I think it was. Was it 1? So there is a kink just before that bit, so don't know if that kink is called a corner or not. I think turn 3 is that initial banked left-hander. And Nini looking very happy here, goes deep into 9. Not looking too happy through 10 either. The Ferrari, not the most planted. Into 11. Yeah, oh yeah, very deep and wide into 12 as well. This car not looking very happy. Trying to, possibly got some cold tyres, and I think he's sort of backed out a bit. That was not a very good turn 13. And yeah, he's backed out. So not a good attempt from Nini. He's going to come into the pits for new tyres. Groffel, meanwhile, is about to complete Sector 2 in a 50.1. So could be better, but could be worse. This could be on track to put him in the top 10. Currently doesn't have a time on the board, as CRS Pookie goes P1 on medium tyres. What? Groffle, meanwhile, only a 112.0, so more or less stayed exactly where he was. Dave comes across the line to start another flying lap. Jabber is going for another attempt. I think he's gone slightly faster through Sector 1. Down the second DRS straight towards the Sector 2 split. And what's that going to be completed in? 50.4. So slightly slower. He's lost a bit of time. But still mostly matching his previous best, which isn't what he wants to be doing. Maybe he can nail to Sector 3. Opens the DRS, has not run out of battery like Big Liam did. Crosses the line 900ths slower, that's just not good enough. Oh, someone was spinning there, that's Dave. He's touched the curb on the inside of turn 10. No harm done. Already recharging. Oh, I was about to ride with KSK here when I noticed Dave having a spin. Biscuit is slightly down on this lap, so he won't be improving on this occasion unless he absolutely nails Sector 3. No, he's 1.1 seconds down on Pookie. Where is RGB Eddie? He's coming into the pits. We've got Huts Big Vic in the Haas. Number 27 trying to be Nico Hulkenberg. He's run out of energy, actually. Oh, and Shiv has had a crash on the exit of turn 12, I think. Oh, and Nini's having a spin as well. He's clipped the inside of turn 11 a bit too much. Let's see what's happened with Shiv there. Yeah, he's hit the wall or something. And there's a ghostly wheel. That's all that remains of the crash. So Nini, still slowest. Isti coming on an outlap at the minute. Wondering who we should be riding with. We've got a Mercedes, not Goshan. Big Six, he's on a outlap. As is Quack. Quack, quack goes the duck. We've got Big Liam. He's on a flying lap. He's improved by 0.18. Across the line. Where's this going to put him? Well, he does improve by 0.265 of a second, but it's not enough to move him up the board. He just gets a bit closer to Pookie, who, to his credit, he's done that provisional pole time on medium tyres. But the question is, can Goshan beat that on soft tyres? I think it's... I wouldn't call it guaranteed, but I'd call it very likely. Isti. Absolutely flying. 24.6 through Sector 1. Fortunately, we don't really have much of a guideline on how fast that is. We only counted one driver doing Sector 1 before. But this does seem to be fairly rapid. He's a lot more hooked. He's better hooked up than Nini was through turns 10 and 11. Down towards Sector 2, it's 49.0, so this is flying. Absolutely. We've got a spin. Oh, that's Nini again? AI, apparently. So Nini seems to be having issues again. Oh, just clipped the curb a little bit. Doesn't spin. Kept it under control. Opens the DRS down towards the finishing line. Where did he go? Isti onto pole by almost 0.4 of a second. That's incredible pace. I knew that was on for a fast lap, and he didn't disappoint. Who else is next? We've got Jabber running over... What the hell? I think he may have picked up a puncture from that, from the debris on the banked right-hander of turn 14. I can't remember if it has a name. And I think Eddie 1 had a bit of a spin as well. It was Ferrari debris, so I think that might have been Nini having a spin. Quack, meanwhile, is all quacked up. Goes into turn 13. Oh, and invalidates. Oh, that's not what you want to happen. And Big Six has not invalidated. What's the word? Retired from the session, so he will start at best in P10. Probably not where he wants to be. I don't know if he's retired from a crash or if he went into the start menu. As for Eddie 1 in the Red Bull RB16 here. Number 21. Heading down towards the sector split. It's 49.5. It's not going to be pole position pace, but that should get him up into the top 10 quite comfortably. I've got Goshen going through the final corner now as he... Oh no, he's coming into the pits. Eddie 1 hugging the inside corner, 4/10 up on his... No, 6/10 up now. Gets into P6. Well, look at the laps everyone has done. Currently, the time to beat is 1:10.531. Goshen, not too far behind with a 1:10.603. Pookie has a bit of work to do if he wants to get pole position. He's currently set that top time on medium tyres, but maybe he'll want to start on this tyre for the alternate strategy. As I've learned from the Carbon Racing series, that is a strategy he really prefers. He's quite good at it. So go for longer on the harder tyres. Oh, we have a spin through turn 13. That's going to be Nini. Seems to be okay. But yes, Pookie likes that alternate strategy. So we'll be throwing on some softer rubber towards the end of the race, I reckon. Depending on how many stops the race is going to be. I think one stop tends to be king around here. Oh, and Quack has had a disconnection of some description. I don't know who Luca is. Sorry. So we've got Biscuit. Let's see what his time is. Through Sector 2, Big Liam has retired. Probably thinks he can't improve that. Oh, actually, he can't. That's why he can't improve. He's crashed in turn 3. So currently, it's Isti on an outlap, trying to defend his pole position, or provisional pole. Biscuit, meanwhile, coming through turn 14. Opens the DRS now, coming down towards the start-finish straight. Does improve, but not by much. Nini, what can he do? He's 2 seconds down on his previous best. He's got another lap to prove himself. See where he can go. Groffel coming through. Oh, we've had a spin by Dave. Oh dear, Dave has had an incident on the exit of turn 9, I think. Or he's just... Yeah, no, that is crash damage, so he has crashed. Sherlock, meanwhile, heading down towards turn 11. What's it? No, he's actually on an outlap. He may not have time to get across the finishing line to start that lap as Biscuit retires. We've had another spin by KSK, who has improved to P7, so it's not too much sweat of his back. Pookie has also retired. Isti, meanwhile, is 1.5 tenths up on his previous best. He's looking to absolutely smash his previous best. And he does! 110.1. He's almost into the 109s. Can Goshen respond? He's 6 tenths up on his previous best as well. He could also get past Isti here. But it depends how well he gets Sector 3. Where did he go? It's Goshen into the 109s. 109.950 smashes Isti's time. And that is pole position for the Mercedes. just beating out Isti in the Alfa Romeo. That was a tense last few seconds. So hopefully we go into a race where there's zero desync. Because I can imagine everyone will be really rightfully upset if we go into the race and we just keep desyncing again. So Goshan, P1, Isti, P2, CRS Pookie, crucially, P3 on medium tyres. That'll mean he'll be a bit weaker in the early stages of the race. But towards the end, well, who knows? Those soft tyres at the end of the race could prove absolutely crucial, but it could be quite difficult to overtake here. And Biscuit, P4. So, we shall see how things go. So, who can get pole? Not pole. Who can get to turn one fastest? Can Pookie get an excellent start in his mediums? Will Goshan hold off Isti? Will Isti get the clutch bite right? Or who knows, maybe there'll be a massive crash and Groffel, who starts in 19th, will win out. You never know. Predicted pit stop strategy for Goshan is a one stop from softs to hards. I don't think he'll do that. What I want to see is what Pookie's strategy is going to be like. The race is going to be dry, but I want to see what the game reckons that he can do. I reckon, there we go. It reckons a one stop onto hard tyres on lap 15 to 20. I don't think Pookie will do that. I think he's going to stretch out these mediums for as long as he can and then go onto softs for the last 10 laps or so. Well, the front row pairing are racing already. They're already stretching quite a gap to Pookie behind, who's actually behind Biscuit. A bit of a mixed up formation lap, but doesn't really matter. Though, of course, if you did this in real life, all of you would get disqualified or something, I don't know. So, few people getting disqualified, it doesn't matter, they're just being disqualified from the formation lap and it just resets them back on the grid. Migrating host.
Uh-oh.
Lag! So, this is what's going on. Where, unfortunately, we get into the race and we start having lag and desync. So the issues... That's typical, isn't it? You do the practice sessions right before the event proper. Yeah. So you do the practice sessions right before, and they do... It goes absolutely fine. And then you turn on the stream, everything's being streamed, and that's when it all goes wrong. Fortunately, I didn't catch the entire grid there, but I imagine someone will have. Just in case. So now I've got to wait to be re-invited to the
whatchamacallit, the lobby as it gets restarted.
Yeah, man. Of course, one other thing that the last patch brought along, this stupid freezing. It never did this before. Why the hell do games seem to introduce freezing as part of an update? I mean, Forza Horizon 5 did it. That was back in November, I think, and they still haven't fixed it. And now F1 2021's doing it after a rather pointless patch, actually. It was just to add new cosmetic items, and yet they messed something up. I want to know how you screw that up. I want to know that. Come on, you see, I'm trying to hit the spectate button. It's not letting me because as soon as someone else joins, the game freezes. There we go. Come on. Oh my god, stop freezing. Ugh.
Is it just me, or can you see the cursor? That shouldn't be right. You shouldn't be able to see the cursor.
Hmm. Anyway, so what's gonna happen with Gruffle's penalty? I wonder, because that might be a BS penalty, but I didn't see what happened. So, are we gonna stick with the game's judgment, or is Gruffle gonna be put in 19th like the game wanted him to be? Or is he gonna be in 14th like he qualified in? So we wait and see. Oh, and guess what? The one person who was unable to join earlier has now been able to join. Shankstar. However, we are missing one person. Actually, no, we're not anymore. That big six is the one we were missing. Or Mars Monster, but they're both here now. They just need to choose their cars, and then we can get into the race proper and hopefully have zero desync. Yes, hello, the Liga Fiesta. I think you're. Yeah, okay, you're Shankstar. Okay, so, hello, but please don't call me bro.
uh, hmm. You can call me Streamer Brah if you want.
Bruh. Look at this dude. We're just waiting for Big Six to choose his car, I think. But then there should be only one car available. Big Six, yeah, was in the Mercedes. Oh. And it's... There we go. I think that was... No, it wasn't Big Six choosing the car. Why, mate? Yeah, mate. Mate. Matey. It's a British thing. And Australian thing as well. So you can blame Hamilton and Ricardo, I think. Besides, I don't imagine many Formula One drivers are that into the meme culture or whatever. So. Oh, bro, look at the sweet overtake I did. Whatever. Gonna be more surfer dude there, I think. Oh, well. Well. My voice, I won't say lovely. Yeah, good luck in the race, everyone. If we can get it, if it works, that is. Just waiting for Ninny to load in. Come on, Ninny. What are you using? Windows XP? And a Pentium R4 processor, or what are they called them? Anyway, we do have a full grid now, which is nice. Hopefully, there's no desyncs or lags, and we should be able to get into this relatively soon. If not, well, I don't know. Right, so let's bring everything back up. Actually, leave the telemetry disabled for now. Let's look at tyres, because, yeah, there we go. Pookie is on the medium tyres. Almost everyone below P12 is on the mediums as well, except Lagand and Chev. Groffel has been deemed to have to start in P19, so it was unfortunate there. And Shankstar, who was not able to take part in qualifying, starts dead last. So 10 of the top 11, well, 9 of the top 10, positions 1, 2, and 4 to 11 are on the soft tyres. Position 3, 12 to 16, and 19 and 20 are all on the medium tyres. And this time it seems that there isn't any desync. Everyone seems to be working nicely. Just got to wait for the grid to form up. So, Shankstar should be the last driver to form up in the Haas. Or Haas. Haas?
Such a utter arsehole, huh?
Anyway, there we go. The cars forming up. And the lights should be coming on any moment. This is not a good camera angle. I don't know why it's not giving me a good camera. We don't even have the red lights on. What's going on? We might have desync again. Because no one's leaving.
I'm not certain what's going on here.
Oh, now the lights are coming on. It looks like Pookie was having an issue. Lights coming on. And it's lights out and away we go. And Goshen has a very good start. Pookie is somehow into second, but... Oh, he's AI. Oh, it looks like he had a game crash. That's unfortunate. He's going to lose a lot of ground. So at the minute, it's Goshen leading Isti into turn 3. And that looks like might have been a little bit of contact mode. Just a bit of diffuser hugging between Biscuits, AlphaTauri, and the other. Oh, we've had a crash. Oh, something. Huts, Big Vic has retired. No, he hasn't crashed. He's just retired. I'm hitting all the wrong buttons. So Huts Big Vic, his race lasted precisely 1 corner. So that's gone horribly wrong, and it's gone even more wrong for Pookie, who had a game crash. And he's only just rejoined. So that means he is effectively starting this race in P10, and he's got to fight all back up the field. It's gone extremely wrong for Pookie. In fact, he's lost a couple more positions now. And at the minute, Goshen pulling somewhat away from Isti, but not too far away. Isti still within fighting distance. 1 second gaps have formed further down the field. Big Six and Lagand and Jabber, as well as the bottom 2 positions. Pookie actually dead last. So something went even more wrong for Pookie. What an absolute crying shame. It looked like he was on for a good result, and then he got let down by his own game. It's so weird. I know that there are people who have had crashing issues with Formula 1 2021, but I'm just not one of those. I don't remember the last time my game crashed. It just doesn't happen to me. I don't know why. You'd think that it would happen a lot more, but it just doesn't. Anyway, Isti and Goshen are pulling a bit of a lead on Biscuit here, who just isn't able to keep up. And he's already a second adrift of the Alfa Romeo, and that gap is just going to keep growing. It's looking like the fight for the win here, the victory, is going to be between Goshen and Isti. And Goshen's actually had an incredible lap there. 1:13, that's not far off a qualifying lap. And, you know, a fairly slow one anyway. We're not going to be getting a lot of fighting because this is Zandvoort. It's not an easy track to overtake on. There's only really 2 places you can overtake, and that would be turn 11 and turn 1. We've got a yellow flag. That's Sherlock Sona, who's... Oh, and we're having another moment from Jabber. We've got a virtual safety car, and I think... Oh, we've had another spin. That's George Dave, or whatever you call him. And that's promoted Jabber up 2 positions already. Oh, and there's another car going slowly. What has happened to Nini there? So he's lost a part of his front wing and end plate. And as has Dave. So they're going to have to pit for new front wings. this early on into the race. That's not going to be helpful for them. Oh, and there was a collision there between Quack and Dave. I think Quack outbroke himself. And now, this is a rather chaotic first couple of laps here. And this is actually holding people up. He's got to come into the pits for a new front wing. Loads of people coming in for front wings, including Shiv. This should... Where's... What? Huh? I think we were having more desync from Pookie because he was down and lost, and then suddenly he's in 9th. So, I think there was a bit of desync going on there. Almost certainly. So that virtual safety car has allowed Goshan to pull out enough of a gap. Oh, and then we've had another crash. That's Ninny. He's crashed in more or less the same place that Sherlock did. We've only got a yellow flag this time, so no virtual safety car or full safety car on this occasion. However, Goshan did manage to pull out a bit of a... Oh, and we've had another spin! Is that Groffle? I don't know. I think Groffle had a bit of a moment, but he seems to have recovered. Yeah, Goshan had managed to pull a bit of a gap on Isti. However, Isti has managed to claw that time lost back. Meanwhile, Biscuit just falling further and further adrift, but he's got a fairly good distance to Big Liam behind. Got Mars Monster threatening Big Liam. I'm just going to call him Liam. I don't think he's a Liam I know anyway. I know one Liam in my life, and that's about it. But Big Six, 3.2 seconds adrift of KSK. Oh, and another position change. That's Lagand, who's had an incident, or a moment at least, on the exit of turn 3. Gonna see where all the action is. At the minute, we've got a bit of a DRS train forming behind P4. That's Liam. We've got Mars Monster, less than a second behind, and Eddie 1, less than a second behind him, as Goshan sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So far, 1:12.896. We had times very similar to that in qualifying. Mars Monster using that DRS to good effect, and Eddie getting a bit of a front row seat here. Mars Monster looking like he could overtake the Alfa Romeo at some point. However, he won't be able to just yet. There's no real overtaking opportunity here unless Liam makes a mistake. And yeah, you have to hold off through turn 7. There's just no opportunities to overtake it. Big Six at the moment, though, is under threat from Pookie. I wonder if he'll try and make a move, or if he'll wait until the DRS zone. Definitely the McLaren looking a lot more racy and faster than the Mercedes. Just a lot more hooked up, gets into the slipstream, and he goes around the outside, and that's the McLaren up into P8. Pookie's recovery well on its way. After rather glitchy beginning where it looked like he was in last, but he actually wasn't, so thanks. Oh, we've had a spin! That's Mars Monster! He's overcooked it on the exit of the banked turn 14. He's going to come straight into the pits. I think he may have cooked his tyres somewhat. That's promoted Pookie up an additional position. And if the dominoes keep falling like this, Pookie could be in for a decent result, like he was meant to have. Isti, meanwhile, has closed the gap to Goshan to less than half a second. As Lagand is the first person to pick up a 3-second time penalty. Isti managing to hold on to the Mercedes here. Normally this would be sort of dirty air central, but Isti holding on. He has the DRS, he'll have it again down the main straight. Clipping turn 11 expertly, not spinning out like I have done so many times before. It's a relatively evil corner. Now, will Isti be able to make the move, or is he happy to sit behind the Mercedes for a few laps? Well, he's got the DRS open, and he's going to make the move. I think he's got the inside, and he just waltzes past the Mercedes. Goshen fighting back a bit, though. It looked like there might have been a little bit of contact, but no, Isti has taken the lead for now. Will Goshen be able to hold on? Well, if Isti was able to, Goshen certainly is able to as well. In fact, Goshen might be doing a better job of it. So this could be a bit of a DRS jousting in a way. Oh, though Goshen wasn't too happy through there. Did lose a bit of time. Isti a bit wide through turn 9 as well. Not sure if that's his preferred line or if he just didn't quite have the grip. The soft tyres will not be holding on for very much longer. The game did reckon that lap 12 would be where you'd want to get rid of them. So they should still be fairly grippy, but nowhere near as grippy as they used to be. Goshen is going to have the DRS once again. Not once again, for the first... Well, yeah, it is once again. Ignore me. So he gets the DRS. He's using the energy as well. He's going to make a move onto Isti through turn 1. He's using his energy, though. Oh, that's not the button I want. I want to open up the telemetry. Oh, Shiv has had a crash! And Lagand is going slowly through turn 3. So Shiv has crashed on the exit of turn 7. But we don't have a safety car or a virtual one, and the wreckage is removed fairly easily. Lagand has just I can't speak all of a sudden. Lagand has just pit, I think, and he's about to be lapped by the leading pair. And the battle for P1 still raging. The lapped car giving Goshen the DRS down the back straight. And I wonder if Goshen's going to try and hold off a little bit to get the DRS down the main straight as well. It looks like he's going to be able to. Lagand is on fresh, soft tire. Oh, and he spins, so it doesn't matter anyway. And Grofu has had a crash as well. And that's brought out the full safety car, and the leading duo both pit. Oh, but Isti picks up a 5-second penalty. He was going a bit too fast. And that's going to cost him in the long run. If he needs to pit later, then that's going to be... oh, and Eddie One gets a penalty as well. Oh, that's not going well. And Goshen has decided he's going to go for a 2-stop race here. He's put on a new set of soft tyres. He's desperate to get past Isti, who is on the hard tyres. And he should be able to do that fairly easily. A few more drivers have pit, including Pookie. He's put on a new fresh set of medium tyres. So he should be a bit faster than KSK ahead of him, who's on the hard tyres as well. Eddie One, though, should be quite quick on these soft tyres. Lagand is pit again, so let's look at the pits. Nope, that's the wrong one. Penalties. Eddie and Isti have 5-second penalties. 5 seconds worth of penalties. Lagand has 3 seconds worth. Lagand has pit twice, as has Quack and Dave. Everyone else except for Shank has stopped once. Shank started last. He's going to have to pit at some point. But trying to hold on to that one-stop strategy, I reckon. Position changes. Isti up 1, as is Arax Biscuit. Goshen down 1 after starting pole. Still fighting for the race lead, however. Shankstar up 16 positions, but don't read too much into that. He started last. Big Liam, exactly where he started. KSK up 1. Pookie down 4 after crashing on the grid. And, I mean, computer crashing, not actually losing control or whatever. Big 6 up 4 positions, and he's on... Oh. He's on the hard tyres, so he's going long. Mars Monster, after having a spin, finds himself in P10. Last points paying position. Jabber just outside the top 10 in P11. He's up 4 positions. A-Lord down 2, as is Jeff and Quack. They've not had a good first half of the race here. Or first third, maybe. Oh, and Lagand has retired. And that's not gone well. He's had a crash under the safety car. He's pulled a George Russell Imola 2020. Ah, that's embarrassing. It's a good thing he doesn't drive for the real Red Bull. Christian Horner would be going mental right now. So will that extend the safety car? No, it won't. Oh, I thought that was Isti getting a bit out of shape there. Trying to get as much heat into his hard tyres as possible. And I wonder how well he's going to be able to defend. He'll certainly try and defend the best he can, but those hard tyres are just... Well, he's definitely settled for the one stop here. Excuse me. Ugh. Thanks. I was about to sneeze. Anyway, Isti leads them away, dumping the energy, and he's actually managed to catch Biscuit out a bit. And Biscuit holding on to P3 for now, but already a second behind. He's just completely different league. Oh, KSK has had a spin. He at the exit of turn 1. He must have clipped that inside curb, but that's an evil one, and we've got more shenanigans. So Pookie has found himself. Whoa, bit of decent going on with Pookie. Or weird laggy things, but he's still in the right position, but that could be dangerous if he's alongside someone. It could end up punting them off the road if that happens again. And that decent, yes, something is going wrong with Pookie. He's lost a position and people are driving through him, so something's going on with Pookie. That's unfortunate. Meanwhile, Goshan on the soft tyres is making light work of Isti. He doesn't have the DRS, but he's just got the pure pace to go around the inside of the Alfa Romeo, and now he's got to rely on the grip of those fresh, soft tyres to just pull out a gap on Isti. And maybe... well, he's got to pull out that gap as best he can. Isti does have that 5-second penalty, but because Goshan pit from softs onto softs, he's got to pit one more time to go on to mediums or something. Meanwhile, Shankstar has lost a couple of positions, and Pookie has magicked up into P5 now. So, unfortunately, we can't read too much into what's happening with Pookie all the time, because it seems he's having some sort of internet issues, but he was down in... oh, we've had an incident or something. No, I don't know what was going on. It looked like Dave was going slow, almost like he was having an engine failure. Jabber has had an awful restart. He's down in 14th. I think he spun at some point. Oh, and we just watched KSK nose into the wall, into the tyre barrier. And this is turning into a bit of a disaster for the Aston Martin driver here. For Aston Martin as a whole, they're not going to be getting any points out of the race at this rate. Meanwhile, Goshan has already pulled a 1.5 second lead on Isti, and Pookie has managed to get past Big Liam, who's fighting back. But I don't think Liam is on the right tyres for this. Actually, no, Liam is on the same age of tyres. Just Pookie seems to have switched them on a lot better. And now Pookie, just 2 seconds away from the podium positions. He's having one hell of a recovery here. He was down around 10th place after the first proper race start. And now he's closing in on Biscuit to get back that P3. Pookie definitely has a lot of pace today. I think, though, that he has to pit again as well. He will have to put on a new set of tyres, as he did go from medium tyres onto fresh mediums. So he'll probably be going onto soft tyres later on. But that's going to harm his positions. Eddie on the soft tyres, right behind Big Liam, less than 4/10, but there's a bit of a DRS train. Oh, we've had another spin. Oh, and that's Mars Monster. He's spun on turn 7 and spun again, trying to get back onto the track, and that's all his hard work ruined absolutely for naught. And there's a bit of a kerfuffle here for P10. A-Lord has got up into P8. And Big Six, oh no! A-Lord has overtaken under the yellow flag and picks up a 5-second penalty. Oh dear, he's done that wrong. So A-Lord is not going to keep that P8. Meanwhile, Goshan has pulled out a 2.6 second gap to Isti. Oh, and Quacker's just had a spin on the exit of turn 14. We just caught that. And now he's having to do a 99-point turn in the middle of the racetrack. It's a good thing that you can ghost on this game. Or, you know, when the game feels like it. Pookie, less than half a second behind Biscuit. He is absolutely ravenous for that podium. Going into turn 9, he wasn't looking as happy, but he's going to have the DRS. He did lose a little bit of time, but with the DRS, he's going to gain some of that back, and I think he's had better traction on the exit of 10 as well. Into turn 11, kisses the inside curb, and Biscuit just looking a bit out of shape on the exit of 12 as we go into 13. Dirty Air seems to be having an effect on Pookie here. He gets the DRS down the main straight. He's not going to use the DRS. Is he going to hold off the ERS even? Oh, actually, Biscuit has run out of energy. Pookie makes a move down the inside. Biscuit has been defending, but he has to lose the podium at some point, and he used up pretty much all of his energy. And as I recall, it's quite difficult to regain that energy around Zandvoort. So Pookie now on the hunt, and being that he's 2.3 seconds behind Isti, well, Isti has that 5-second penalty. If Isti finishes in P2 with Pookie less than 5 seconds behind, Pookie can get P2. However, I wonder if Isti's going to make another pit stop. You never know. If there's another safety car, he could make another pit stop, which would mean he'd have to serve the 5-second penalty there, which would allow Pookie to get past anyway. Big Liam has just lost a couple more positions. He's now been overtaken by Eddie 1. He's just holding on to P6 for now. Big Six, meanwhile, is right behind A-Lord, who has that 5-second penalty. Oh, the Big Six looking like it was going to drift and pull what Quack did. He's using his energy. A-Lord is not fighting back too much, but Big Six wasn't close enough. He was too far back to make a move on the Ferrari. And he's going to have to hold off for a little while longer. These hard tyres, much younger than A-Lord's medium tyres. They've been on for a few laps. 14 laps to be precise, whilst the hard tyres are I reckon feeling rather like a fresh set of mediums at this point. He's going to have some pace, but he's got Jeff right behind. Jeff? I can't decide what name I'm going to call this guy. George, Dave, Jeff? He's right behind Big Six on fresh mediums. Well, not fresh, but medium tires that are the same age as Big Six's hards. And it depends what he can do here. Bit of a DRS train. Big Six has lost time again. He's got the DRS again, but he's not going to be able to make a move on the Ferrari. Goshan, almost 4 seconds clear of Isti, and he's going to need that time to try and pull, I don't know, an undercut? Maybe. Depends if Isti can pit again. If we get another safety car and a sort of Saudi Arabia situation where Goshan could pit just before a safety car, and that would ruin his... Oh, there we just caught Big Six having a crash, and this could be the safety car that we were looking for. But this is good, and that is the safety car, and that is actually going to be helping Goshan. He could pull into the pits right now, and he is pulling into the pits. This is working out for Goshan. Ah, right. So, pulls into the pits. Fresh, medium tyres. Go on. Isti is coming into the pits, but he has that 5-second penalty. He has to serve. Oh, Shankstar picks up a drive-through penalty as well. Pookie is also pitting. What? Oh, no. Oh, no. Pookie is going onto Inters. I think he's fumbled the controls. Oh no! Pookie has pressed one button too many. And he's going onto wet tyres on a dry track. And the race is going to be dry all the way through. This is a disaster. A clerical error has cost Pookie a chance at the podium. He's fumbled. Oh no! I've never seen that happen before. And he's having to go so slow. He has to pit again, and he's going to lose so much time. Ah. That has got to be painful. However, let's be mindful here. The game has been known to be very strange and make it look like they've got the wrong tyres on when it's been a different set of tyres. So is Pookie actually on Inters, or is it the game thinking, oh, he's gone onto Inters, but he's actually on softs? Well, we'll see in just a few seconds, because if Pookie comes straight into the pits, then that means he really did put the Inters on. He's not coming in.
He's not coming in.
So, I'm wondering, has he really put the Inters on? Or is it the game being strange? Well, I think Jabber's put the Inters on as well. And it looks like he's driving fairly well. I'm not certain. I can't be sure about this. He's going very slowly through turn 12, though. Getting a bit of wheel spin. Yeah, oh yeah, he is going quite slowly. But he's not going into the pits either.
I've learned to take many things that this game tells you with a grain of salt.
if I had really gone on to intermediate tyres by mistake, I would have immediately pit onto dry tyres. So why then, if that was the case, why would you go past the pit lane and not take the hit? So I think the game has got things confused here, because I would have thought that Pookie and Jabba would have pit. Because Inters overheat very quickly. So even now they should be really overheated. And yet he should be losing pace, and yet he's still keeping up even under these conditions. So, at the minute, if Pookie really is on the soft tyres or something, current order is Biscuit and Big Liam, currently P1 and 2. However, they haven't pit for new tyres. They're trying to stretch their 11-lap-old mediums a few laps longer. But Goshan on fresh mediums is going to destroy them. He'll get past them quite quickly, quite easily. Pookie, we don't know. Not certain what tyres he's on. Isti lost out to Pookie in the pit stops because of his 5-second penalty. And he is now right behind the McLaren. However, he is on the fresh soft tyres. Wait. The race was meant to be dry all the way through. However, I think I can see drops of rain. That it's definitely raining. They didn't decide. They didn't put on. They didn't set the weather for the restarted race to be the same as the original race running. So Pookie and Jabba are almost certainly on the intermediate tyres, but I think they've done it a bit too early anyway. Everyone else thought it was going to stay dry, and they're going to have to pit again. So the race gets back underway. Oh, there's been a collision, though! Isti has lost his front wing as he goes into the pit lane. Goshan is under threat from Pookie. It looks like it's already getting quite wet out there as Biscuit loses 2 positions. Pookie is not doing so hot. Or at the minute, he's locking up. It's still a bit too dry for the intermediates. More people are going on to the intermediate tyres, but Isti has lost out majorly after getting that broken front wing, and Goshan is already in the lead. And Pookie is just losing so many positions, but he'll be okay for now, because if the weather keeps getting worse, everyone ahead of him will have to pit. However, Pookie will be on older intermediate tyres, which will not be as good as newer intermediate tyres on the wet stuff. And he's already down into P8. So, Pookie, I think that was the wrong call. He did it too early. He did it way too early. And this is just allowing everyone to... I think Shankstar's having to pit as well for new tyres. But the weather is definitely getting worse out there. And Jabba is now into the points. However, the track is just not wet enough at the minute. Though it does seem that the slick shod cars are starting to have issues. And they're starting to have to go a bit slower than they normally would, because it's not as grippy out there. But at the minute, Goshan is going to be... Oh yeah, Shankstar had to serve his drive-thru, didn't he? Yeah, okay. Ignore me. But at the minute, Goshan pulling out one hell of a lead on Pookie, who is the lead intermediate running car. let's look at the leader time. And yeah, at this rate, if Goshan was to pit right now, he would come out behind Pookie, but this is why I think Pookie's done it too early, because Pookie is still hemorrhaging time. DRS is enabled, so it's still too dry. And those intermediate tyres are going to be cooking. He's done it too early. Did it just way too early, and Pookie still hemorrhaging. And this is the sort of the game you have to play sometimes. Do you go on to the inters early, or do you go on to the inters when everyone else does? And unfortunately, Pookie's done it early, and that just wasn't the right gamble, because he's already almost 20 seconds behind Goshan, who will more than likely get a very nice pit window, which would still mean that Pookie would come out into a second place behind him at this rate. But yeah, it's not looking good. Goshan leading everyone else by quite a margin here. And Pookie already 11 seconds behind KSK. So he's just done it way too early. Big Liam now under threat from Mars Monster. And okay, yeah, the track is now looking visibly damp, but it's still just a bit too early for full inters, just inters in general. Car was looking a bit squirrely on the exit, and yeah, you can see the sector 1 time already 1.4 seconds slower than previous best. Speaking of fastest lap, that will more than likely go to Goshan, who's done a 112.277, absolutely obliterated the competition. About 6/10 faster than anyone else. And yes, you can see that the rain lights have come on, so DRS, I reckon, is going to be disabled any minute now. But will it be disabled soon enough for Big Liam to defend from Mars Monster? Not on this occasion. Oh, and it doesn't matter anyway. It seems that it's just a bit too wet. Big Liam loses out to 2 positions, but he does come straight in. And Goshan has elected to keep on going. And could this come back to Pookie here? He's coming around the final corner. He did lose a lot of time under the dry conditions, though. And I think he's lost out to Mars Monster here, so he's going to have to try and make a move on the Alpine. Meanwhile, Goshan and KSK, well, I don't think they're going slowly enough. Let's see, what is the current leader time? Pookie 28 seconds behind, but he is gaining on Goshan, but I don't think it's gonna be enough, because Goshan just has a few straights, really. In fact, he's still losing time, which is odd. So Goshan is gonna be quite healthily in P2 here, or actually no, P1. In fact, Goshan has pit. Oh, he's having to change his front wing, though, which could bring some things into play here, though I don't think it's going to hurt him too much. Pookie is coming through turn 13 right now, and he's lost a bit of time to Mars Monster. 2.3 seconds down, and that's unfortunately the disadvantage of having what are now 7 lap-old intermediates. And Pookie, well, he'll at least be P3 on the podium, but it's just a race of what could have beens for Pookie. Oh, KSK is having a crash, though. That's not gone well. He tried to brave it on the dry tyres for one lap longer, and it's just backfired dramatically. He could have been in for some good points, and now he's going to walk away with nothing. So, with the wet weather, that has more or less guaranteed that we're not going to be seeing much more action, I think. Overtaking in wet conditions is difficult at the best of times, and it's going to not really be easy, I think, for anyone to overtake. It's going to be difficult to go much faster than the cars in front or behind. DRS is disabled, so everyone's got to rely on their energy, but they're gonna, because it's wet weather, you gain energy a lot easier under these conditions. Oh, Quack's gone a bit deep into 11. It's hurt him a bit. He's lost about 2/10 to Shankstar. And this is, I think, unless something else happens, this is more or less going to be where the race ends. How the race ends. Well, you never know. Shankstar has caught up to Jeff. Dave. I think Dave has had an incident somewhere, and Shank has caught up. But question is, will he be able to overtake? Well, I think Dave, Jeff, whatever his name is, he's managed to get a lot better traction than Shank on the exit of 3. And he didn't even use any of his energy to do that. So I think that was what caught Shank out a bit there. He used his energy immediately on the exit, and he got wheel spin as a result. So he's lost time, and he's using it again to try and catch up, but it's just not going to be enough. So the race has been. Oh, then Quack has had a wobble. Didn't hurt him too much, but yeah, the race is. I reckon the race is more or less done. We could get a surprise, but I think it's gonna be fairly boring from now on. This is more or less the closest fight on the grid at the minute. Jeff, Dave from Shankstar, from Quack, from Eddie 1. These are the closest drivers on the field. Everyone else, well, Pookie possibly getting closer to Mars Monster, but he has actually got closer, but he's had a rather shoddy turn 11 and 12 there, and has lost about a 10th already. In fact, he's lost 2/10. It's not gone well for Pookie there, and his tyres are also quite a bit older than everyone else's. 7 laps more older, 7 or 8 even, which means they're going to be quite worn and not as efficient as getting rid of the water. And unfortunately, slicked immediates do not work well in this game. In fact, they're not really a thing at all. The battle for the final points paying position has got a bit closer. Eddie is currently the closest to Quack, but there's just not really an opportunity to overtake into turn 1 yet. Still, Eddie might be able to get past Quack. His tyres are slightly younger, but I don't think it matters too much under these conditions. Meanwhile, Shank has lost touch to Dave. Jeff. Def Jave? I don't know. I understand I'm butchering the name, but I don't know what that's supposed to be. Maybe it's meant to be Arabic. I know that the 5 is used in Arabic to pronounce some noise that isn't really used in English. There's a KH sort of sound or something. But meanwhile, Eddie got very close to Quack there. He had to back off a little bit. Also got a bit unhappy on the exit as well. So he was very close. Meanwhile, someone else who's got close is A-Lord to Jabba. Jabba is on the same age of tyres as Pookie is, and I don't think he's working through the graining quite as well as Pookie is. So A-Lord could be on for P6 here. But I wouldn't count on it. This track isn't the best for overtaking in the first place. There's only 2 places you can overtake under normal circumstances. And now, in the wet conditions, though well, it's just not going to be easy to overtake at all, but A-Lord is going to give it a go. Going to use the energy, but so is... Actually, no, Jabba is not using it. And A-Lord is going to make a move. He's got the inside for turn 11, and he actually manages to cut Jabba off a bit. He gets into P6. We've seen an overtake under wet weather conditions, ladies and gentlemen. So A-Lord makes a move for position under wet conditions. And now Isti, who was fighting for a podium, now finds himself in P8 after a horrendous restart in which he lost his front wing, didn't he? So he's now fighting for 4 points when it could have been 18. I don't know what the standings are like, but I imagine this could be quite a blow in the championship battle. Oh, and he's just got past Jabba. So Jabba falling down the field, however, I think he's safe in P8. So Isti, at the minute, looks like he'll get 6 points. If he can get past A-Lord, he'll get 8. Damage limitation. Pookie, meanwhile, has... he's kept the distance to Mars Monster relatively stable. And he's pulled away from Biscuit. And he's using so much of his energy to try and catch up to Mars Monster, but it's just not going to be enough. Not at this pace. A-Lord under threat from Isti now. Isti, well, he has less battery to play with than the Ferrari, but he's going to be using it, but so is the Ferrari. Isti, though, does get the slipstream. Is he going to be able to make the move into turn 1? No, not on this occasion. Will he try and get A-Lord down the straight like he did with Jabba? Not sure. Someone else who might be about to make a move, Eddie, is going to go up the inside of Quack into turn 1. Is he going to make the move stick? Yes, he does. And he gets up into P11. And now he's going to be fighting to get past Shankstar. But it took so many laps to get past one car. And now it's going to be even the same sort of difficulty to try and get past Shank. And I just don't know if he can do it. Isti, still the closest battle on track, mostly. Oh, Big Liam picks up a 3-second penalty. I think he's gone a bit wide somewhere. It's not going to hurt him too much, as he is still 9.5 seconds ahead of A-Lord, who is still under threat from Isti 104. Energy usage still being underway. Isti having to hold off for now. Wasn't able to make a move. Eddie, meanwhile, might be able to make a move on Shank for P10. He's got the slipstream. He's using the energy. He's got one more attempt. One more time. He can really try this. Practically side by side. He's got much better traction, but he's going to have to hold off. He's being squeezed. And Shank cuts him off. Closes the door. Eddie holding on for now. but looking like he could get P10 here, and a solitary point. Thought he was going to go for a move up the inside of 7 there. We'll have to hold off for now. As for Isti, still quite close, but not close enough. I don't think this is really his last chance to make a move on not Goshan, on A-Lord. Goshan, 6.5 seconds ahead of Mars Monster, and Pookie has lost a second to Mars. So I don't think Mars was looking like he was... Mars, I don't think he was expecting a podium here. But it looks like he's on for one, unless something goes horribly wrong in this last lap. As for Eddie, he's lost a little bit of time to Shank. Oh, and it's gone wrong. Oh, he used his energy too early. And now he's right back where he started. That's gone wrong. He used the energy way too soon. So Shank is safe in P10. Isti, though, might still get P6. But at the front, his reign has been undomitable. Goshan comes around the final corner, and he's coming across the line to win the Netherlands round of Huts F1 League. 7.5 seconds ahead of Mars Monster, who's 3.1 seconds ahead of Pookie. Biscuit, quite a few seconds adrift of Biscuit. Whoa, what the hell? What? When did Pookie get a penalty? What? Pookie did not have a penalty. What's going on? I don't know. But A-Lord, oh, that's very close. He holds on to... should be P6. Pookie did not have penalties, and yet somehow he's down in P7. It's not telling me of any penalties. Because the race is finished, of course, but... what? And now suddenly he's in P10. Could someone please tell me what's just happened? Because he was definitely in P3, and then suddenly the game just decides, no, you don't have any penalties, but you're not allowed to score any points. Like, that was like, what, a 1 minute penalty or something? What? I don't know. That was very strange. But yeah, so Goshan walks away with maximum points, as well as one additional for the fastest lap. Mars Monster P2, that should be Pookie P3, because he doesn't have any penalties. He has no penalties, and yet the game decided, no, you're going to be P10. So the game just decided to screw Pookie for no reason. It's been a bad race for the Aston Martin Giro. They don't score any points. And Red Bull also don't score any points. Eddie could have got past Shankstar for P10, but he overcooked it. So, I think I'm gonna see what on earth happened there. Because Pookie was in P3, and then he just gets booted down to P10 for no reason. Come on, I'd like to leave the session. Let me leave. Come on, stop freezing, game. Of course, it won't let me do anything. Okay, right. Right. Gonna briefly move to... well, just move to the waiting intro screen thingamajig. I really... no idea what happened there. Wonder if Pookie can tell me. Because that's weird. Yeah. No one's talking, so normally at this point for the CRS League, everyone's chatting in the Discord. Yeah, it was fun. Fun race for the most part, and then the rain came and. But yeah, that was very, very odd, very strange race it would look like for you, Pookie, because you had that what I'm assuming was a game crash at the start of the race, which is why we got held on the grid, and then you were sort of when you got back in, it looked like you got a spin or something because you were right at the back and like 20 seconds behind, and then suddenly you were in P10, and then the same sort of thing happened later on. You were in P9, and then you jumped up to P5, and then everything was stable from there on. So that was a weird one. Anyway, well, I think we're gonna call it that. That's. I don't really have any standings or anything. We're just gonna end it there, really. Thank you for watching, and yeah, we'll see you soon, I hope. Yeah, next week, I reckon, if things go well. So yeah, thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.